Hello everyone, this is Ola. In this video, I'll discuss the vision. Remember, we have two types of sensation, the somatic sensation that comes primarily from the skin and spatial sensation. Spatial sensations are vision, smell, taste, and hearing. So now let's go with vision. Now, quickly, let's go ahead and review the anatomy of the eye. Remember that there are three tunics. The fibrous tunic has the cornea in the front and sclera behind. And attached to the sclera, we have the extraocular muscles that help to look at different directions. The middle layer or tunic is the vascular tunic, and this has the choroid, ciliary body that has the ciliary muscle, which control the shape of the lens. And then anteriorly in the vascular tunic, we have the iris. And the iris is the colored part of the eye. And the iris has an opening that we call the eye pupil. The inner tunic or the neural tunic has the retina, and this has the photoreceptors. And then the signals go along the optic nerve to enter the skull, having vision. The electromagnetic spectrum is very large, and our ability to see as human is very limited. So this is the only field that we can see as human in comparison to the very large magnetic spectrum. For example, we are not able to see the infrared light. Frogs can. So frogs can see more than what we can see as human. Let's go with the light trip as it goes through the eye. So first it goes through the cornea of the eye, then to the anterior chamber of the eye, which is the chamber in front of the iris. Then it goes through the opening of the iris, which is the pupil, and the pupil is able to change diameter to be constricted or dilated, depending on the condition. Then the light goes through the lens, which is able also to change shape depending on the vision, if it is near or far vision. Finally, it goes here to the posterior cavity and to the retina, where the photoreceptors are found. There are two types of fluid in the eye. The aqueous humor, which is watery fluid. This circulates from the ciliary body into the iris to the anterior cavity of the eye. Then it is absorbed to the bloodstream through trabeculae that lead to the canal of Schlemm, where the aqueous humor is absorbed back to the blood. This fluid provides nutrition to the lens and the cornea of the eye. If the production of that aqueous humor is more than the reabsorption, or if there is an obstruction here in the absorption, the pressure of the eye increases, and we call that glaucoma. So when you visit your eye doctor, always they measure the pressure of the eye to determine if there is glaucoma, because it's really dangerous. Increasing the eye pressure will squeeze the blood supply going to the retina. This can lead to permanent blindness. The pupil is the opening in the iris, and the iris has two muscles. The circular muscle which is able to constrict the pupil of the eye in response to increasing light. And this is stimulated by the parasympathetic nervous system. The cranial nerve number three, the oculomotor nerve, is the nerve supplying that circular muscle leading to constriction of the eye pupil. The other muscle is the radial muscle, and the radial muscle is able to dilate the pupil of the eye in response to dim light, so you can see, and it is stimulated by the sympathetic nervous system. Accommodation of the eye is a reflex action of the eye in response to focusing on a near object, then looking back at a distant one, and vice versa. So here we have two types of accommodation. Pupillary accommodation, where the pupil change diameter, and lens accommodation, when the lens changes its shape. So let's look at the accommodation of the eye pupil. When you focus on a near object, the pupil constricts. So the light is going to be focused and goes to the retina in a clear way. On the other hand, when you look at a faraway object, the pupil dilates so that also you will be able to see as clear as possible. The lens also accommodates based on the near vision or the far vision. So if you are looking far away, the ciliary muscle relaxes and the lens becomes flat. So flat lens for far vision. But when you look at a near object like reading, the ciliary muscle contracts and the lens becomes round. So round for reading or near vision. Let's look at some review questions. What happens when you focus on a near object? Two things happen. In the pupil, what will happen is pupillary constriction, and the lens becomes round for near vision. On the other hand, if you look far away for far vision, the pupil dilates and the lens becomes flat. There is a condition affecting the lens that we call presbyopia or the old eye. It's a natural aging process. Here, the lens is not as elastic as we were young, and it's not able to round up in near vision. So when you read, you will be having some blurry vision because of the loss of the lens elasticity. And here, reading glasses can fix that. Another condition affecting the lens is cataract, which is also a common eye disorder among older people. Here, the lens or its capsule become cloudy, so the light cannot go uh, to the retina in enough amount. And as a result, clear images cannot focus on the retina. This can lead to blindness. However, it's easily treated by removing this cloudy lens and implanting another one. Now with light refraction. Refraction is when the object changes in refraction from going to one medium to another. Like if you look at this pencil, as it goes from the air to the water, there is some bending. We call that refraction. This also happens at the level of the cornea and the lens of the eye. So bending of the light rays as they go through the one transparent medium through another is the refraction, and 80% of our refraction happens at the cornea, only 20% happen at the lens. And the closer the object to the eye, so for near vision, more bending or refraction happens. The goal for that is to get the image on the clearest point on the retina that has the most visual acuity, which is the fovea centralis of the retina. The normal refraction when the light or the image goes to the retina is called emmetropia. So it's normal refraction and you see clearly. There are some problems in refraction. Hyperopia, which is far-sighted vision, meaning what? You see faraway objects clearly, but you don't see the near ones clearly. You have a problem in your near vision. You are far-sighted. And this happens when the eyeball is too short. So the image here goes behind the retina of the eye. The opposite condition is myopia or nearsighted vision. You are good when you see near objects, but you cannot see far away. You are nearsighted. This happens when the eyeball is too long and here the image goes in the front of the retina of the eye. Astigmatism is a condition where there is asymmetry between the cornea and lens, so there is irregular refraction, and this leads to blurry vision. This is the Snellen eye chart, and we use to test if there is myopia. We will discuss that in details when we go to the lab. Astigmatism chart is also to test the irregular refraction that we call astigmatism. So now let's review. Myopia generally happens when the eyeball is too long, while hyperopia happens when the eyeball is too short, so the image comes in front of the eye. Remember, it goes behind the retina of the eye in case of myopia, and it goes behind the retina of the eye in case of hyperopia because the eyeball is too short. What is irregular refraction that leads to blurry vision? This is astigmatism. Emmetropia is a normal condition. That is a normal refraction. What happens when the eyes gradually lose their ability to see things clearly up close? And it is this is a normal part of aging. This condition is called presbyopia when the lens lose its elasticity by aging. When the lens becomes cloudy, we call that cataract.